I done spoke too much, close curtain and scene. I am not a human being, I'm a full machine. I ain't holier than thou, I don't judge, I sing. Just staying down for the come up till I reign supreme. Let's get it. Yeah, hit boy, we got another one. Ha. Man, y'all boys ain't ready for this, man. I'm still grinding, I'm still hungry, hungrier than ever. I feel unstoppable, losing's impossible. Go against the team, the thing they know not to do. Bright lights, game on the line, do what I gotta do. Time after time, we do the impossible.
Whenever I touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. 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 I hope y'all can nest double E, cause I need your eyes on me. Once I get my feet.
It's week 3 of the NFL. And we'll get a look here at Davante Adams. He's coming off a week where he stuffed the stat sheet in both yards and touchdowns. It's the Raiders and the Dolphins, and it's all up next on EA Sports.
Well, there's never a shortage of shows or sights and sounds throughout this city, but for the next few hours, all eyes are glued to Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Miami Dolphins and the Las Vegas Raiders. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes that actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Two 1-1 teams here, each looking to move over 500, and we're underway here in week 3. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. And a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3".
His game last week reminded me of the old song, accentuate the positive. That's about all he did, right?
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards in the air. Receivers happy.
And they got the win.
Got the win. If you're a running back that likes to catch passes, they're happy as well. Big-time game.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football.
Wow, just one snap in, partner. The complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field and a big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if it has lasting effects as this game moves on.
So here are the Dolphins now with excellent field position to start things out. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their third-year quarterback.
And he's had good success here already this season throwing the football. 6 touchdown passes in his 2 games. He's really got this offense playing with a lot of confidence, trying to establish themselves early as a Super Bowl contender. First down, they'll run with the longer. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3.
And it's second down. The numbers for him from a week ago. Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Well, that'll be incomplete. Boy, it took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. He'll look to throw. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Max Crosby blowing up the play and getting the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach turned his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. Not the way they wanted to begin things yet. The interception on the first play of the game. The good news, it only led to 3 points.
And remember our conversation with him prior to the ball game? He said they had something special designed for the first play. It didn't hit. Let's see if he can rebound from it and not let it get him down.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. On play action, they'll throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Davion Taylor coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. A CD, you know, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Channing Tindall, the one who got through to drop him.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and trying not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
Throwing left side, it's complete. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Straight ahead, here's Nwangu. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. And the ball smacked down on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll go right back to the Wangu. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. They'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. They'll drop to throw. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. Jalen Waddle, his 4th touchdown on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good. We're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead grows to 10-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was finished off by a Jalen Waddle touchdown. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Their quarterback leading this offense back out. And he's been loose with the football early. Interceptions on the first couple of drives. As they start again here, we'll see if he can do better. 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. First carry for Josh Jacobs. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 20 carries, 120 yards even.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff, because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Down to the 41.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going. And then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
2nd quarter from Vegas. The homestanding Raiders with a football here, as they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. Here comes the blitz as they look to throw. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Davion Taylor. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. They'll set up to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Davion Taylor, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings up 4th down. Here's A.J. Cole now to punt this one away. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And going deep for Hill. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And going deep for Hill. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Tyreek Hill, 46 yards. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches, and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Sanders now to add the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you
Now
just
you
called
can
it.
go.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it. You mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that they've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
On fourth down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Now Hill to return it. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They fell last week to the Jets, but they've got the lead right now as they start this drive. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll look to throw. Now he's going to throw deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket, because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
Let's go now.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Up the middle, Nwangu. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now back to throw. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll set up a throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. They're in a bit of a bind, a pretty big bind, down 20-0 as they start here on 1st and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Boy, so another interception, CD. And it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Back to throw now on first down. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. And the Dolphins are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
He'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And now it's 3rd and 3.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Here we go.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. From the left hash, just a 32-yard attempt. The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Brings up 3rd down.
On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Watch out for Hill on the return. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. And with great starting field position and one timeout in their pocket, they could still come away with points here in the late going. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 44. Looking to throw. And going deep for Hill. And that is incomplete.
He's put up numbers in this one by pushing the envelope a bit whenever he could with deeper throws. Well, let's play a little philosophy here. Some plays it works. Sometimes they're ready for you. And that time, they were on guard. Incomplete.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And going deep for Hill. And he's got it inside the 10. Touchdown, Dolphins. Tyreek Hill with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Dolphins are able to add on to their first half lead.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there. Unable to do so, that makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Sanders on for the extra point. And the lead is now an even 30. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense going to head out now late in this first half. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he'll look downfield for Waller. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Here's A.J. Cole now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And this returnable for Hill. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 13 yards the tally on the return there. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Now we get Tyreek Hill and the rest of the Miami offense back out there, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
Back to throw. He sets to fire deep. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Blake Gillikin on punt now on 4th down. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. We begin up in the Steel City. For years, this was Brady and Roethlisberger. No longer, but it's still New England and Pittsburgh. And it's the Patriots with the lead in that one. The Pats seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. From there, we head down to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And it was the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars that go home with the victory. Travis Etienne, a touchdown run in the victory. Lastly, we're off to the Rocky Mountains, Denver, Colorado. See what's happening with the Broncos. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Javonte Williams, 94 yards rushing there. With that, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for Miami in that first half. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on this secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they were on the other end of the spectrum in terms of passing efficiency. That's going to need to improve in the second half to come. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. But it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Trying to lay one up deep. That's caught at the 25. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
I'm seeing a lot of guys shaking their heads on defense right now, particularly in the secondary. And when you see that going on, that is never a good sign. But it's understandable. They've been shredded so far.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. That'll be complete to the running back, Nwangu. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. That gain of 15 gets him on the doorstep, 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Kene Nwangu. His second rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the first and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Raiders nothing. Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Slant route going to be caught by Palmer. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard.
They're going to look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins will take over possession here up at the 44. I think it's safe to say this is a game he's not going to forget anytime soon, Charles. 3 interceptions.
It's rare that we see 3 interceptions by one team, let alone by an individual. And I think that after the second one, he's probably telling his teammates, any ball that's in the air, it's going to be mine. And that turned out to be true.
Jalen Waddle running out, and that means that the Dolphins ready for another drive on offense. Good day for him so far here in the third quarter. He's hit pay dirt once, over 100 yards, but hey, it's the third quarter. He's thinking, I want more, right?
He wants more, and it just increases the confidence of his team because every play he makes, that means his quarterback.
And that is caught at the 10-yard line. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins just continue to roll. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack the defense and take them out of the game.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. He'll drop to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 41-yard line.
And the Raiders first and 10 at the 41-yard line.
He'll look to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Channing Tindall able to record his 5th sack of the season. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And that is caught at the 10-yard line. It's a big play there for Vegas. 41 yards.
First and goal at the 4-yard line.
They'll try to run it in, going option right. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal.
Leads to 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line.
Back to throw here. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Davion Taylor. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Another shot to at least get on the board here. This is 3rd and goal. They'll drop to throw. Over the middle, hauled in by Campbell. Touchdown, Raiders. Paris Campbell, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Raiders are able to claw one back. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie. Because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to... He's got a man, complete! Then he will finally be taken down, but how about that play? It's a big one on the final act of the 3rd quarter. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here from the right hash, and this one just a chipping. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, You never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Raiders offense ready to go. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a first-and-goal situation. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Paris Campbell with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Raiders get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth-quarter deficit. Extra point by Carlson, up and good, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. We'll see a return here from the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. But now this offense comes back out onto the field. You just kind of feel for the defense right now, this deficit, they have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now, trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they are down huge in this game.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Thompson. And going deep for Hill. It's caught inside the 25. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Now a handoff to Chandler. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Now Chandler. And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. This will be a 34-yard attempt. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again. Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
They'll look to throw again. It's caught here by Adams. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. And a big 32-yard play on third. Back to throw again. Here's back-to-back catches for Davante Adams. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Over the middle, complete. It's Adams. And the Raiders are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. Again, he'll drop the throw. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Davion Taylor, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really, really turning in an incredible performance.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Carlson able to put this one through, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. In the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Miami set to take over. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Now it looks like he'll throw here. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. 1st down. Here's Thompson. And he's got his big tight end here. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Boy, a pair of big plays here. This one going for 29. Thompson will look to the air on first down. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is of all those high-end sports cars, what's the top gear you can get into. This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Dolphins, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Las Vegas, they'll fall to 1-2. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.
Yeah. Hold up, it ain't easy breaking away or being a great. They slamming the door, I'm jumping the gate. Cause a starving stomach like being punched in the face. And an instrumental was the last time that I ate. Full from all of the bass. My ace boom goon, big son told me about the game. 20 years later, know my name. King, crown me, lounge in the back of the spot. Pay homage to an underground peasant, climb to the top. Funny style on elevators could never fade us. I peep data stain anytime they congratulate us. Goggles is worn and bottles is popping. I'm beyond Sanders on haters. This ice bucket dropping over their head with it. Extra the cred with it. You either fight or flight. I ain't one for the ledge living. I do it for the one that died but fed millions. With soul food flowed and stock my bare kitchen. I'm liberated. I drew a play that they ain't illustrated. I make a move they gladly imitate it. I ain't flattered, I'm a dragon to your paper castle. The Alpha and Omega promise it ain't nothing after. A new beginning. My catalog like James Earl Jones, the ever living. Imagine if I did make beats that's more for killing. Imagine if you come from the south out my city. You probably wouldn't make it, oh yeah, really. I go extra to be great. I go extra for the fam, I go extra for the cake. I got extras on the plate. I go extra every day, I got extras on the way. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. Ain't no mileage of $4 configure the road I travel. Don't gravel, that probably baffle it. Label scribble on paper, they wanna shackle it. I own my masters and royalties, you can't raffle it. Wrist drip like a mango, fingertips like I'm Thanos. Knocking those down, no bangles. Without a Kango, tailor-made. Walk with a limp, them bands is heavy, I need a brace. I am money, I guess the world is just a safe combination needed, not a coca key. I'm the extra lighter on the dresser. I know you need it, smoking out the competition, pouring up, we undefeated. What you heard, let's you heard, we eating, talking about extra with a slayer, extra acting bad. Pull it like parades on parades, extra with the slayer. Pay what it cost for the tail, extra with the band. Young Cruiser King, better add extra on the... I go extra to be great. I go extra for the fam, I go extra for the cake. I got extras on the plate. I go extra every day, I got extras on the way. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra.
Losing's what I never do. How you supposed to walk with me? I'm 80 steps ahead of you. My mind is on Socrates, all my bars on Rubik's Cube. Every time I do it, I just have to do it beautiful. I can't let this moment pass. Yeah, I know my time is now. Know my mama proud of me, and my grandma smiling down. Every time I turn it up, whole crowd be wilding out. Matter of fact, let me see your hands. Look, I saw my shot and I took it. I couldn't do it different. Couldn't